George Russell must win the 2026 Formula One Drivers' World Championship or he is cooked, and I'm gonna tell you why. In this Formula One season, which is the biggest era of regulation changes, if Mercedes show up with a championship winning car and George somehow does not win it, then it's highly likely that for 2027 Formula One season he is going to be replaced by Max Verstappen. It will give Toto Wolff enough reason to fire George based on the performance clause because George Russell doesn't have a multi-year contract. He has like a 1-year contract which is subject to extension based on performance. So if in theory Mercedes show up with a championship winning car and George Russell does not win it, then Toto Wolff can lure Verstappen in by saying that, hey Max, we are strong package. This is how we're going to develop the car into the future. Jump ship. It's absolutely certain that you can win. When the car is semi-competitive, you have won championships with it. So our car is definitely better than that. So you're going to win. And Verstappen will jump ship if he absolutely knows that he's going to win the championship. So he's going to come. I mean, he will leave Red Bull to join Mercedes if Mercedes show true pace and performance in 2026. The only way George Russell can stop that from happening is by winning the world championship himself. And when he becomes a world champion, or if he becomes a world champion in 2026, he will have more negotiation power. That's the obvious thing. Now, the other side of the discussion is, what if Mercedes doesn't show up with a championship winning car? Then it's just L for George. Because George has, skipped the dominance era of Mercedes by spending his time at Williams. And now when he joined Mercedes, they were not dominant. And now, again, if Mercedes does not nail the chassis side of things, because they seem to have an engine advantage already, if Mercedes don't nail the chassis side of things, then George is cooked once again, wasting his prime in a non-championship winning type of car. Verstappen will obviously be out of the equation because he's not going to jump ship if Mercedes don't prove him beyond an iota of doubt that they are capable of winning. So basically, to sum up the entire situation, George Russell has a 1+1 type of contract, 1+1 year of contract, subjective. He is secured for 2026 with Mercedes, but after that, it depends on his performance, which is again subjective. So if the Mercedes team show up with a championship winning car, a dominant car, and George Russell somehow fails to win the 2026 World Championship, and Red Bull is kind of like a shitbox, which is plausible because they don't have Adrian Newey, they don't have Rob Marshall, they don't have Jonathan Hitley, a bunch of other people. They seem to be doing okay though. But either way, if Red Bull have a shitbox and Mercedes show promise that they can fight and win world championships and George Russell doesn't in 2026, then he's going to probably get replaced by Verstappen. And Verstappen is a part of Mercedes AMG GT3 project right now, so Toto Wolff has his foot through the Verstappen door. And in 2026, if Verstappen sees an opportunity that, okay, Mercedes are strong in this era of regulation, and in the upcoming seasons, they're continually going to be more and more dominant, continue to push the boundaries of their car's performance more based on the concept that they have, and he's certain that they can win again, then he will leave. George Russell, on the other hand, that's the only solution he has. And whatever it takes, he has to go and win the 2026 Formula One Drivers' Championship. And the thing is, he can do it. He's probably the only guy who can beat Verstappen, Norris, Piastri, those likes of people, Lewis Hamilton included. He's extremely consistent. Whenever there's an opportunity, he extracts the maximum out of it. But he sometimes does get rage baited by his own engineer or Charles Leclerc, as we have seen in the past. But aside from those two, weaknesses, I guess, George is the guy who can pull it off. But at the same time, you have to understand 2026, because Toto Wolff has made it clear that Kimi Antonelli is the future of Mercedes. He is their future Verstappen. That's what they are, setting him up to be. George Russell is kind of like the guy. I mean, he's very good, very consistent. If there is an opportunity, he takes it. But at the same time, he ain't a Verstappen. You know what I'm saying? And in 2026, if Mercedes show up with a strong enough package, George Russell, you better deliver. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.